The opening round of the F4 British Championship, certified by FIA, powered by Ford EcoBoost, got underway with a history-making, totally reversed grid in race 2 of the weekend at Thruxton. Victorious in race 1 was last year's treble winner James Headley, and he'd won the first race of the weekend. Could he make it 5 on the bounce in race 2? So here's how they line up. Lots of rookies for you this weekend. Thomas Aiken and Eduardo Cossetang on the front row. Marcus Flack next with Zach Taylor. Tessanapol Intrafuvasak next with Roman Belinsky on row 3. Then it's Joel Granfors and James Headley on all Fortec row 4. Matthias Sacassetti, you'll remember him from last year, he's on row 5 now with Argenti. Kai Aski next up from Oliver Gray and Dougie Bolger. Row 7, this is where the JHR takeover starts. Joseph Loke is on row 7 with Mackenzie Cresswell, then Abby Pulling, and poleman, who we'll see on pole for race 3, Matthew Rees. Green flag from the back of the grid, ready for the first race of the 2021 F4 British Championship. Reverse grid, Thomas Aiken in red. Eduardo Cossetang is a little bit slow away. Great start by Zach Taylor in red, who's up into 3rd place and busy challenging Marcos Flack. Flack in the black car, the Argenti machine. He had a problem yesterday, spun on the first lap, and therefore this is his first race running. He didn't complete any laps yesterday, and at the moment it's an Arden 1-2, and look at Zach Taylor going round the outside, has a look, runs wide, and now he's defending where he was chasing for the lead. Flack having a good go as well, and coming through is Roman Belinsky. Belinsky up into 3rd place in the blue and yellow Carlin car. Carlin, of course, with a checkered history here. Great start by Belinsky, and coming through already into a podium position and putting his former Ginetta Junior rival, Zach Taylor, under pressure. So the two graduates from juniors were side by side there. Super start, though, by Thomas Aiken out front. The rookie really held his nerve well. Now, watch the Carlin car, tucking up on the inside line. Belinsky has set the pace in testing this year and goes on the inside line of Zach Taylor, the former Ali Rushforth junior driver. Here they come, though. Taylor fighting back on the outside. Locks up, gets it back. Great move by Zach Taylor back into P2. But has he lost momentum? That was super racing. We've got a spinner at the chicane, but what a great race going on for 2nd position now. James Headley in the 67, the white and red Fortec car coming through as well. This has been a little bit of a bogey circuit for Fortec, and James' win yesterday was the first win for Fortec here in F4 history. Lock up from Belinsky. Belinsky under pressure at the moment from James Headley. Headley was being tipped. If he can get the budget together, James Headley will be tipped to, if he can do the full season, very definitely a driver tipped to take the championship this year based on what he did last year. Side by side here, Headley coming under pressure from Marcus Flack, the Australian in the 11 car. Headley holds him off at the moment, so Marcus loses a place. Flack fastest lap at the moment in 5th position. And it's Thomas Aiken, the race leader. Zach Taylor, great F4 debut for him. And this is a wonderful initiative by F4 to give a reverse grid. It's going to give people a chance to start off the front. Normally, you might have a midfield runner, but if you're slowest in qualifying, you get that now. Side by side, Belinsky once again coming under pressure from James Headley round the outside. What a move by Headley! As I said, this is not a Fortec fancied circuit, but Headley goes around Belinsky. Now we've got Headley coming through on the outside line. He's going to do a Taylor on Taylor, and he does it. He goes through. Zach Taylor sees him. Super move. Wonderful piece of driving. Oh, the tag there. That was Belinsky just tagged on the back end of, I think, either Flack or Sacasetta. In fact, it was Marcus Flack. So Marcus building his confidence after the non-finish yesterday. And look at the 4th place battle going on. Aiken still leading in red. The white and red car of James Headley, and it is a bun fight for 4th position. And on the back of this is Abby Pulling from the back row of the grid. Abby Pulling coming through, side by side with Matthias Sacasetta. Sacasetta in front. Abby Pulling was delighted to qualify P2 yesterday. She did that last year as well in her rookie season. Now through onto the lead. James Headley threw the car down the inside line, crossed up, lost a bit of momentum, and Thomas Aiken holds on to the lead. But James Headley is on an absolute mission here. Let's see what Headley, we're only a quarter of the way through this race, and it's been a stunning start to this revised format for the British F4 Championship. Here comes Headley now, he's got the run. Headley furthest away from camera now, left of shot as they come up Woodham Hill. Ikin under pressure, but James Headley here should take the lead. Inside line, into the club chicane, and you can see Zach Taylor is closing up as well. So here we come, up into Woodham Hill again, and Roman Bielinski with Joel Granfors through on the inside line. Bielinski under pressure from the Swedish driver who raced in Formula Nordic, Formula Renault-based Formula, and also the Aquila Synergy cars out in Scandinavia. Granfors under pressure, but running well indeed up into that fourth place. This is for fourth then. Let's see whether Granfors' fastest man on the track, same teammate, same team as the race leader. Abby Pulling getting into the zone here with Rees as well, and I think Pulling's got a nose in front there as they come into the complex, and Pulling makes the move around the outside. Great stuff by Abby Pulling. The two teammates racing hard but showing super respect to each other, and fair play Abby Pulling and Matthew Rees. They're working their way through the field. Let's have a look, see where the others are. We've got Joseph Loke a couple of cars back, and Mackenzie Cresswell in the mix as well. The Red Arrow still going in second and third. James Headley away. Eduardo Cosatank's got fastest lap. He's running in 15th. Down the inside line, Pulling now side by side again with Roman Bielinski, who gets the inside as we switch back out of the complex, is still there, runs wide, and Mackenzie Cresswell comes through. So now Cresswell takes up the honours for JHR with Matthew Rees in behind. Pulling's having a little bit of a renaissance now, looks around the outside line. Let's see whether Abby can pop the 49 car through. Mackenzie Cresswell and Abby Pulling now back to the battle for second as well. Granfors on the outside line. He's got slightly ahead, but let's see whether Zach Taylor takes him wide. He doesn't take him that wide, to be fair. So Zach Taylor still defending, still hanging on to P2, 2 minutes 19 on the clock. So maybe a couple of laps left. Thruxton back in fourth position. Can't really, despite the battling pair, second and third, I thought he was going to close in, but he's not really making any grounds into the Taylor Granfors battle at the moment. So here comes Zach Taylor. Again, this has been relentless pressure. Great driving by the chaser, Joel Granfors, and super defensive driving so far as well from Zach Taylor. And I can virtually hear, and he runs a little bit wide. Was that a mistake? No, he's got momentum and hangs on to it. I thought he'd made a tiny mistake there. I was about to say, I can hear Zach's parents saying, Richard, don't say how well he's doing at the moment, but he is doing a sterling job. He's in P2 and in with a very good shout here of a podium with 1 minute 24 on the clock. But Granfors wanting to make it a Fortec 1-2, drawing level again and coming up. Woodham Hill has got the inside line. If he's got the momentum, he'll grab the inside into the chicane. Joel Granfors teed this up nice and early. Zach Taylor has seen him. He knows that the Swede is through on the inside line, and Zach Taylor still on the podium, but relegated to third place. Very well read by Joel Granfors. Heading up to the flag to make it 2 out of 2 in the reverse grid race is James Headley, the local hero. James Headley takes the win, and we wait. It's his teammate Joel Granfors. Delighted, great race for second, and a podium for Zach Taylor. Well done, Zach. The 99 car in third place, to Sanapol in Thruxton in fourth place from Abby Pulling, and Tom Ikin completing the top 6. James Headley wins round 2 of the F4 British Championship. Joel Granfors makes it a Fortec 1-2. And Zach Taylor on the podium for Arden. To Sanapol in Thruxton, fourth from Abby Pulling and Thomas Ikin. Mackenzie Cresswell in 7th from Roman Bielinski. Some spirited racing from Roman there. Matthias Sakazeta in 9th place. And then Joseph Loke in 10th. Thomas Ikin obviously winning the rookies. Oliver Gray 11th from Marcos Flack. Then it was Matthew Rees. Dougie Bolger for Carlin. We saw him have problems early on. Was in 14th. Eduardo Cosatang, who actually held on to the fastest lap and gets the bonus point for that. He finished in 15th place, and it was Kayaski who had the problems earlier, who was adrift, and is in 16th, but we'll come back for race 3.
James, congratulations. Another storming drive up from the middle of the pack. But, I mean, this time it was kind of harder work for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, for sure. It was definitely harder than yesterday. And I think yesterday we took a risk, basically, and it paid off. And then today was just all about putting the best cars on that we had and just fully attack, just to see what we can get. And I wasn't expecting to win the tour, to be honest. I think podium would be great, just score some points. Yeah, but to do a win and get take another win round here and a 1-2 for the team. It's just amazing, so yeah.
And Joel, another P2, another great result.
Yeah, I can't believe it really. I started P7 on the grid. I was like, maybe a top 5 would be decent, so. And then, yeah, I saw that James and the Ardens pulled away from the rest of us, and yeah, then we started to catch them in the end. And me and Zach just had a great battle in the end. It was so good defending, and it was so hard to overtake him, so yeah. Great job to him and thanks to the team. So.
It didn't quite pan out how you would have wanted it, but nonetheless, a podium result is a good result, isn't it?
Exactly. First round of the championship. I mucked up a bit in qualifying, qualified P13, P15. So reverse grid was really one of the only races we had to claw up points. Obviously, race 1 yesterday, we chose slicks. We got 5th, good points. But to get P3 is great for the team, especially in the first round.
And it's the first time we've got this fully reversed grid in F4. It's a good initiative, do you think?
Yeah, I think it's great. I think the team, I obviously will watch the race later, but I think for all the fans back at home who want to be at the circuit, it was just a great race for them to watch, really. Lots of action.
A great result for you too, well done.
Thank you very much.
Here's the grid for round 3. Matthew Rees, the rookie on pole position, first time out in F4. Joseph Loke alongside them, Mackenzie Cresswell and Abby Pulling. JHR Developments 1, 2, 3 and 4 on the grid. Carlin next through Dougie Bolger, then it's Oliver Gray. 4th row, Kai Askey and double winner James Headley. Joel Grandfors, that's James' teammate next up from Matthias Sakaseta. Tisanapal Intrafuvasak next from Marcus Flack on row 6. Eduardo Cosatang and Zach Taylor on row 7. The grid completed by Roman Belinsky and Thomas Eichen. Lights on here at Thruxton. Out they go, cracking start, and it is Abby Pulling back in 4th position, but Joseph Loke goes round the outside the silver car with the blue trim. Joseph Loke, the reigning Fiesta champion, switching from tin tops to single seat, has made a superb start and leads as they come into the complex for the first time. Hold on to your hats, a little bit of a lock-up from one of the Fortec cars, possibly James Headley not doing his tyres any favours at all. Mackenzie Cresswell is 2nd. Roman Belinsky making progress through the pack as well in 31, had a 5 grid pace penalty, a little bit of inadvertent, it must be said, contact in the previous race. And he's making light work, so it's another reverse grid race for him as the pole man getting stuck in side by side with Abby Pulling. Abby in the 49 car on the outside line, qualified 2nd for the first race, and coming through is the 25 of Dougie Bolger, the Japanese registered driver, coming through, and he's the leading Carlin car. And of course, if you know anything about the history of F4, you'll know that obviously Fortec reigning champions, but Carlin multiple championship winners over the years. The likes of Lando Norris, Jamie Caroline. Jamie's still coaching, incidentally, the Carlin boys side by side at the moment for that 3rd place. And Dougie Bolger squeezes through, makes it up into 3rd place at the expense of Matthew Rees, and sadly cars in the barrier. That is going to be, I think, an early safety car. You can see the waved green cars as 3 of them tangle going into the chicane. In fact, it's going to be a red flag to recover the 3 cars. Sensible decision by the officials. You're coming from the flat-out fastest point of the circuit. Here's the grid. Matthew Rees on pole, Joseph Loke alongside. JHR lockout continued by Mackenzie Cresswell and Abby Pulling. Dougie Bolger is next up from Oliver Gray. On the 4th row, Kai Askey and James Headley. Double winner so far, James. Joel Grandfors, his teammate next with Matthias Sakaseta. Tisanapal Intrafuvasak for Carlin on row 6 with Marcos Flack, and they're followed by Eduardo Cosatang. Zach Taylor, I don't think he's out there in the 99 car, sadly, due to steering damage, but the grid is completed by Roman Belinsky and Thomas Eichen. Out go the lights. Matthew Rees on pole position. Great start by Mackenzie Cresswell from row 2, who goes between the pole man and also Joseph Loke, but it's Loke around the outside that takes the lead. Loke out of the Ford JHR car leads, Cresswell 2nd, Matthew Rees, the Welshman, in 3rd place, then Abby Pulling in P4. Pulling looking down the outside line here with the pink trim on the 49 car, looking for her first race win in F4. Side by side out of the complex, Pulling goes up into 3rd place. Next up, we've got Dougie Bolger, the leading Carlin driver. We've already got Roman Belinsky making a lot of progress too. As you'll see from the clock, a slightly shortened 15-minute race. We've got the curfew. They've already had a few laps already. But Joseph Loke, the reigning BRSCC Fiesta champion, is your race leader here at Thruxton. from Mackenzie Cresswell. What a fantastic sight these cars make, and I just have my fingers and everything else crossed in the commentary box that the race manages to go the 15 laps. It is very, very difficult condition. Zach Taylor's rejoined from the pit lane. Now remember, Zach is actually, I think, third in the championship standings, so very important for him, if he can get the chance to get some points, that he will crack on. Cresswell having a look, Joseph Lote going deep and wide into the corner. Cresswell has looked almost a replay of the first version of the race, very much in the drive before the downpour on the touring cars. What an exciting race. That was a tag there, and that is Robert Belinsky just coming into contact with Joel Granfors in the 5 car, who keeps going. Let's hope his steering hasn't been knocked out. Cresswell looks up the inside line again here as they come into the chicane. The two teammates get very close. Good clean racing between the pair of them. Meanwhile, Matthew Rees has got up into 3rd. Abby Pulling has been demoted into 4th again. She's still there and challenging, but good stuff from the young Welshman to go back up into a potential podium. And we're still seeing here the JHR Motorsport lockout. This is the form that they've had over the last 3 meetings here at Thruxton. Bolger now fastest lap in 5th position as we watch the top 3. Abby Pulling dropping away and into the clutches of Dougie Bolger. There is Dougie, hoping to be the first Japanese world champion. Bolger really getting stuck in now, pulls out of the slipstream, goes to the outside line here. That is big, brave stuff from Bolger. But Abby Pulling, of course, has got a year or so more experience, and significantly, of course, another Thruxton meeting experience. But great awareness. Abby looks in the mirror to see where he is, and Abby Pulling putting best defensive mode on at the moment. Dougie Bolger trying everything that he can to go past the 16-year-old Japanese driver, putting pressure on, but he's under pressure now. We've got a little change that we got going on in the background with the 2 Fortec cars having a very good battle. It's Gray and Headley. Headley is the fastest man at the track at the moment in the 67, and Bolger's making the move again on the outside line. The 2 Fortec cars following too, but Abby Pulling knows the line to take here, but is she going to be able to hang on to it? Bolger's going for the outside again, gets a wheel, oh, and there's almost a bit, I'm sure there was contact there. Bolger's got the momentum now as they come up through Brooklands into Woodham Hill, and Bolger is through into 4th position. Incredible stuff. Kai Askey, who was involved in that skirmish on the original dry start race 1, is in the mix as well, but Dougie Bolger gets in amongst the JHR racers, so Carlin starting to make a dent in the JHR domination. There's James Headley through in front of his teammate and passes Pulling as well. Headley is through. Superb stuff from James Headley. Pulling going wide, doesn't look particularly happy with the car at the moment, and it's Kai Askey coming through in the 15, the blue Carlin car looking to have a go as well. So it's Lote, Cresswell and Rees for JHR 1, 2 and 3. 4th position, Dougie Bolger, who had an 8th and a 14th, so Dougie really marking himself out here as a man to watch in the wet weather. Let's see whether Abby can fend off Kai Askey, who looks around the outside line. This is exactly what Bolger, his teammate, did on the last couple of laps, and gets a superb run, and around the outside, Abby not looking happy at all. Bolger looks in his mirrors. Am I clear? Yes, I am. Continues the run through Brooklands, up the hill, 6 minutes 50 to go. Lote still out front. Fastest lap, Robert Belinsky in this one, trying to work his way through from the back of the grid. He's up into 9th. He's got into the points as Belinsky. Headley now getting stuck into Bolger. Looks on the inside line as they go through Allard. Bolger initially didn't see him, then had a look across, saw the nose of Headley's car coming through. Headley getting very close indeed, but great defensive driving from Dougie Bolger, who is not being phased at the moment by the top-seeded returning driver, who looks around the outside line as they come into the complex. Side by side here, Headley knows he's got the line. Superb as he comes into Cop Corner, heading down towards Seagrave. He is driving his socks off at the moment, James Headley. Great manoeuvre to get past the Carlin car. Bolger's hard work, of course, around Abby Pulling loses a place. Ollie Gray, I tell you what, Fortec, this has been a bogey circuit for them, but the wet, as we very often say, a superb leveller in motorsport. Fortec making their way back into the thick of things. Headley with fastest lap thus far. This race with Lote, Cresswell and Rees as this battle goes side by side again. Bolger on the inside line, the Carlin car fending off the second Fortec machine at the moment, but once again Ollie Gray getting very, very close indeed in the 63 car, the 15-year-old. multiple kart champion. He's got a run here, though, as they head down towards Allard, and this is similar to what we saw James Headley doing. Headley, incidentally, has very nearly caught Matt Rees for third place, so Headley might be able to go away with the podium here, and that would delight him enormously as we watch this battle continue. Fifth position, Bolger runs a little bit wide there. It was done, I was going to say it was done differently, but it hasn't been done at the moment, and they're still playing cat and mouse, and Bolger holds on to it. Great racing between the pair of them here, and this is what people liked about the old-style Formula Ford 1600 back in the day. Limited aero on these cars, you can race them, and Thruxton, one of the best tracks for them. Headley goes on the grass there, he could have lost it big time if that had all gone pear-shaped, but he amazingly hasn't lost momentum. Comes out of the spray, he's going to have a dive, maybe go for the cutback for the inside line as they exit Church. Now up the hill through Brooklands, goes one way, then goes the other. If nothing else, he's getting out of the spray and going for the big burn up round the outside again. So Matthew Rees, the Welshman, the pole position sitter for both races where we had the fastest driver off the front, defending well, not phased at the moment. Little bit of cross up there, that's going to lose him some momentum, and indeed Headley right under his rear wing, and he's going to have a go on the outside line. He's going to have to change again. What's the run going to be into Allard? Slightly tighter, might be the run round the outside into the complex again. We're on the last lap. Joseph Loke's going to write a bit of history here by taking the win at the moment. He is out front. Headley right the way around the outside, finds the grip again. Headley goes up into P3 with that move again. He knew where the grip was, he knew what Rees was going to do. That was a superb drive by James Headley, who's come through from 8th position on the grid up onto the podium. That's why he leads the championship. But here is a youngster to mark out for future reference. Joseph Loke leading this one from his JHR teammate Mackenzie Cresswell. Loke has seen him off and has driven superbly here in the wet. He's done a few wet Ford Fiesta races, I know, but that is totally different to coming into single-seaters. The tutelage and encouragement of the JHR team has stood him in very good stead, and this is not a reverse grid race, this is fastest off the front, and Loke looking superb here in the 84 car, the youngster from Macclesfield, coming up, 15 years of age. Here he comes into the club chicane, little bit of a wobble as he comes in, he's still pushing it, he's not backing off because he knows Mackenzie Cresswell, his teammate, is behind him, but Joseph Loke is going to make the switch from Fiestas to F4 and takes the win. Congratulations, Joseph. Great drive from Mackenzie Cresswell second. James Headley comes through in third. He is delighted with that. Who'd have thought he was going to get that after that abortive first start? Ollie Gray next, then Matthew Rees fifth from Dougie Bolger, wrapping up our top six. So here's how they finish. Joseph Loke takes the win. Mackenzie Cresswell, the rookie win. Second place overall from James Headley. Ollie Gray in 4th position from Matthew Rees and Dougie Bolger. Roman Belinsky was 7th from Joel Grandforce, then Kai Askey 9th, and Tisanapol Intrafuvasak in 10th. Marcus Flack 11th from Eduardo Cosseteng, then Abby Pulling 13th, struggling from Thomas Aiken and Zach Taylor. Matthias Sakazeta, sadly 5 laps adrift, of course, after those problems.
Fantastic, your first race in F4 and you got your first win.
Oh, honestly, I can't believe it. Coming into this weekend, I had no expectations, and honestly, that's the best result I could have ever asked for.
And such difficult conditions, and with the interrupted race to cope with as well.
Yeah, I wasn't really happy with the red flag. I felt like I was in a good position, but obviously the pace was even stronger in the wet, so it was actually a blessing in disguise.
Mackenzie, I mean, you always come into a championship hoping to get a win, but your rookie weekend, how does it feel to get a podium, but how does it feel to get this P2?
It's a great feeling. I really didn't think that I was going to be P2 in the end on my debut weekend, but I mean, I'm really happy. JHR's done a great job. So was Joseph. He was rapid out there. Well done to him.
Well, James, what a day you've had.
I know, all my days. I am so happy right now. Honestly, it felt like I won that race, you know. It was absolutely over the moon. The guys did a fantastic job, you know, after an unlucky incident in the race before. Luckily, we got a bit of that luck back and they got cancelled, and the team did absolutely amazing job to get the car back out, you know. Fortec, you know, they're just amazing. So, yeah, all my days, what a race.
As we head to Snetterton after 3 races in the 2021 F4 British Championship, James Headley has a 21-point lead now over teammate Joel Grandforce. Joseph Lope, though, the star of that race, up into 3rd place. Mackenzie Cresswell 4th from Zach Taylor. Ollie Gray in 6th, then Matthias Sakaseta. Eduardo Cosseteng next from Roman Belinsky and Dougie Bolger. The Rookie Championship keenly fought as well. Just 3 points between Mackenzie Cresswell and Ollie Gray. Eduardo Cosseteng in 3rd from Dougie Bolger and Tom Eichen. Matt Rees in 6th. They're ahead of Kai Askey and Marcus Flagg.